So how did this happen then? Tell us what happened 6 years ago.
Yes, well, it was in the press at that time, and as you mentioned in your intro, I refused to use the pronouns of a transgender student, but I did treat that student with dignity and respect, and that came out in the TRA hearing in recent months. That I was, I conducted myself as a professional and so on. But this Stonewall training was used by the Teaching Regulation Agency as something that I should have gone along with, and for not going along with it, very sadly, I found myself banned from the teaching profession. So you can imagine I'm heartbroken about this ruling. But we will be looking to appeal with the Christian Legal Centre at the High Court, because it's obviously quite a contentious issue. It's not a done deal. I do think,
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, was this child? It was the child was born a girl, but she, as born, was identifying as a boy. Do we know actually that this child is a trans child, or was it someone who's just fluid, who's just experimenting with identity? Do we know any I don't want any identity. I don't want to say who it is, but was this definitely a trans child? Were you told that in advance? How was this presented to you as an issue?
Well, I did have just a small word with a colleague from the class that this student came from. But like you say, some students can be gender fluid. There's a whole range of things, and it's not, actually in law until you get a gender recognition certificate post 18.
Yeah.
So as far as, the student was concerned, she was born a girl. And so, the truth of the matter was she was a girl, but I was still willing to accommodate the student and try to avoid the pronouns, but that wasn't enough.
And did you end up using, because it's very, we've all tried to avoid using pronouns sometimes when we don't know someone's preferred pronouns. It's very difficult to do. Did you end up just using a pronoun? Is that how it came out in the end?
Well, that was what came out in the press, is that, I said, well done, girls, to just her and her friend. And that was the thing that was complained about and used by the TRA. Actually, that was really one of the principal things of their case against me was, the Freudian slip, you might say.
So you've been banned for life from teaching, for more or less, for saying the phrase "well done, girls."
Yes, I mean, I did. That was the TRA's case. There was a few other things that they found against me. I spoke about marriage. A student asked me about the Christian view of marriage, and I shared that the Christian view is that it's between a man and woman for life. And there was another, there was an allegation that I'd shown a video speaking about men being responsible and taking responsibility, which I refute that I showed it in the lesson, but that the mere allegation of such a thing was enough for the TRA to make this ruling.
Well, here's the thing though, Joshua. Maybe I wonder if you might be able to recognise this, that you're a maths teacher, is that right?
Yes, of course, a maths teacher.
So one question would be, if you're a maths teacher, why are you talking about your beliefs in religion at all to any pupils? That your job is to teach maths, it's not to teach morality or to have a view about that. So is that not something you might want to hold your hands up and say, if I just stuck to teaching maths, that's what my job was?
Well, I did stick to teaching maths in the maths classroom, and I ran Bible clubs, and I would speak with students about religious matters in appropriate forums. And I was at a Christian school, the second school I was at, so we spoke about Christian teachings and things. So I was in the classroom for 7 years. It came out in the evidence that I was a good teacher and treated students with dignity and respect. I mean, like I say, the principal argument against me was the refusing to use the pronouns and refusing to go along with the Stonewall training, which was given by the school where that incident occurred.
Yeah, what about the argument, Joshua, that this person is going through a difficult time, might be fluid, might be experimenting, might be going through all sorts of things in their life, and actually they just want their teacher to just back them up a bit? And if this person says, I want to be called he for now, could you not in your heart have said, well, maybe that will help them if I go along with that, I'll just do that to help that person, whatever my beliefs might be, this might be the kind thing to do?
Well, I don't think it's kind, actually. I think that it's a very dangerous pathway. You take powerful drugs, it might be that you have surgery and
You can't have Sergio as a child. I mean, the point is the point where someone just says "call me a he." It's just a question of terminology, isn't it?
Well, it's important though, you know, what is true, and like I say, you're encouraging these students to go down a really dangerous, you know, and really serious path. And I don't think in our society we're taking it serious enough, you know, to just, it's not the kind thing to do. I actually disagree with you. I mean, I was happy um to refuse using pronouns. I thought that was an appropriate you know, compromise. But I think that the issue was that the student knew about the Bible Club and my beliefs, and so took issue against me just as a person, you know, rather not really against my conduct in the classroom.
And are you going to appeal? What's the just you mentioned that? Are you going to see if you can teach again, or is it for you?
Well, I'd love to, and I enjoy teaching. My dad's a teacher, and I enjoy helping people learn, and you know, I enjoy the profession. I'd say it's vocational for me, but you know, obviously my reputation's on the line, and you know, I will appeal. We myself and the Christian Eagle Centre are appealing at the High Court, and we're hoping that this is like a test case, and we're hoping that the government takes action. I mean, you know, that the government goes along with what's the truth, and it makes some, you know, gives some clear guidance on these issues, you know, because there aren't just Christians who are concerned about this. You know, as our society at large is concerned about this issue, and it's important that we, you know, I would say hold to the truth, and maybe don't affirm these students until they're 18 would be my position. But obviously, we need to discuss it in our society and determine what's a good path.